It really feels like people are finally starting to notice what we've been seeing for a while. Sometimes it seems like this team doesn't get nearly enough respect outside the Pacific Northwest, but that's beginning to change. Some national voices are finally giving credit where it's due, and a couple of players are getting the recognition that could say a lot about where this team is headed. There's plenty to break down because this isn't just another off-season headline. It could be a sign that the rest of the league is finally catching on. Before we jump in, make sure you hit that like button if you're excited for the season. And let me know you're a real Seahawks fan by dropping "Go Hawks" down in the comments. National recognition is finally starting to catch up with what many people around Seattle have been saying for a long time, and two Seahawks players are now receiving the type of attention that suggests people around the league are beginning to appreciate just how valuable they really are. ESPN recently highlighted Devon Witherspoon as one of the best players at his position, while also identifying A.J. Barner as Seattle's top breakout candidate. And those two acknowledgments reveal something important about the direction this team is taking heading into the 2026 NFL season. The spotlight on Devon Witherspoon is especially significant because it comes from evaluations involving NFL executives and scouts, not simply media opinions. Jeremy Fowler's rankings placed Witherspoon among the elite cornerbacks in football, with only a very small group of players viewed at the same level. That kind of respect carries weight because it reflects how people inside the league evaluate his impact rather than simply looking at traditional statistics. For Seahawks fans who have watched him closely, this recognition feels overdue rather than surprising. One of the biggest reasons Witherspoon continues to separate himself is that his value cannot be measured by interceptions alone. His role asks him to do far more than simply cover receivers on the outside. Seattle relies on his versatility in ways that many teams simply do not ask of their cornerbacks. He lines up in multiple spots, contributes inside, attacks as a blitzer when needed, and creates problems for opposing offenses in several different ways. That flexibility naturally affects some of the numbers people often use when comparing defensive backs, but it also creates opportunities for him to influence games beyond the stat sheet. The recognition highlighted one particular performance that perfectly illustrates this impact. During the Super Bowl, Witherspoon generated 4 pressures on only 6 pass rush opportunities, recorded a sack, helped create a pick six for Uchenna Nwosu, and allowed only 2 receptions for 16 yards across 47 coverage snaps. Those are not the numbers of a player limited to one responsibility. They reflect someone capable of affecting every phase of a defensive game plan whenever his number is called. Although his 2025 production was lower in certain statistical categories, the discussion also acknowledged that injuries contributed to that reality. Even so, the overall evaluation remained extremely positive because those studying his tape continue to recognize how much he changes the defense every time he steps on the field. That distinction matters because it shows the conversation is moving beyond raw statistics and toward understanding the complete value he provides. Another fascinating point surrounding Witherspoon is the unique way Seattle deploys him. Rather than asking him to remain on one side of the field throughout an entire game, the defensive system emphasizes versatility. He may play outside one snap, shift into the slot the next, become part of a pressure package after that, or perform another assignment designed to confuse opposing quarterbacks before the ball is even snapped. That flexibility has become one of the defining characteristics of Seattle's defense. Because players can rotate responsibilities without changing the appearance of the defensive alignment, quarterbacks often believe they know what they are seeing before the snap, only to discover something completely different once the play begins. That unpredictability exists because players like Witherspoon possess the versatility required to execute multiple assignments at a high level. It is not simply about having athletic ability. It is about processing information quickly while maintaining discipline regardless of where the defense asks him to line up. That same versatility may actually hurt him in traditional cornerback discussions. Players who spend every snap on the outside naturally accumulate different statistics than someone constantly moving around the formation. Blitz opportunities reduce interception chances. Interior responsibilities create different coverage assignments. Yet none of those responsibilities diminish his importance. If anything, they increase it, because Seattle depends on him to perform jobs that many cornerbacks are never asked to handle. League observers also pointed out something many Seahawks fans already understand. Some players look impressive when reading their stat line, while others become truly special only after watching every snap they play. Witherspoon clearly belongs in the second category. His influence extends far beyond tackles, interceptions, or passes defended. His presence changes how offenses prepare, how quarterbacks process defensive looks, and how Seattle disguises its intentions throughout an entire game. That growing appreciation around the league could eventually have another major consequence. If his reputation continues climbing among executives and scouts, conversations surrounding his future contract will only become more interesting. Players capable of performing multiple premium responsibilities are exceptionally valuable, and recognition from around the NFL often becomes one of the strongest indicators of future market value. While Witherspoon continues earning praise on defense, another Seahawks player is beginning to receive long-awaited attention for his development on offense. ESPN's Ben Solak identified A.J. Barner as Seattle's breakout candidate entering the 2026 season, and the reasoning behind that selection paints a very clear picture of why expectations are increasing. Barner originally entered Seattle with a reputation primarily as a blocking tight end. Since arriving, however, he has steadily expanded his game into something much more complete. Solak described the rarity of finding tight ends capable of making a significant impact both as blockers and receivers, arguing that Barner belongs in that select group. Rather than projecting overwhelming receiving totals, the evaluation focused on balance, consistency, and complete football ability. The projected production of 52 receptions, 519 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns reflects a player expected to contribute efficiently instead of simply accumulating volume. More importantly, the evaluation emphasized traits that often separate reliable tight ends from average ones. Barner makes difficult catches away from his frame, has enough athletic ability to threaten defenses vertically, and remains an essential piece of Seattle's rushing attack because of his blocking ability. Perhaps the most encouraging aspect is that this recognition does not come from highlighting only one area of his game. Instead, it acknowledges everything he brings to the offense. Complete players fit exactly what Seattle appears to value, and Barner continues developing into someone capable of helping regardless of the situation. Whether the offense needs an effective blocker, a dependable receiver, or a reliable red zone option, his role continues expanding with each passing season. His touchdown production also deserves attention. 10 touchdowns across his first 2 seasons demonstrate an ability to become a legitimate scoring threat whenever Seattle reaches the red zone. That reliability gives the offense another option in crucial moments, especially when size and positioning become increasingly important near the goal line. As more national analysts begin recognizing what both Devin Witherspoon and A.J. Barner contribute, it feels like Seattle is finally seeing 2 of its most versatile players receive the attention many believed they had already earned. One has become one of the league's most unique defensive weapons because of his ability to impact every level of the defense, while the other continues evolving into one of the NFL's most complete tight ends through consistent growth on every snap. If these national evaluations prove accurate throughout the upcoming season, Which recognition do you believe will have the bigger impact on the Seahawks? Devin Witherspoon being viewed as one of the NFL's elite defensive playmakers, or A.J. Barner emerging as Seattle's biggest breakout candidate? If you enjoyed today's update and want to stay ahead of every Seahawks story as soon as it breaks, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this report, and let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I read them all. And before you go, click on the video that's on your screen right now for even more Seahawks coverage. The latest Seahawks news, updates, and exclusive discussions are waiting for you right here, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.